everybody, it's here, the official Legend of Zelda Encyclopedia. Here we go. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Wormys Playhouse, and I just got today in the mail. Finally, I ordered this quite a while ago. That's a heavy box. So I ordered this about a few months ago. I just placed it on Amazon Prime, and I kind of just forgot about it. And then all of a sudden, it arrived today. Finally, been waiting for it. So let's go ahead and just get right into it. Don't play with knives. So this is the Legend of Zelda Encyclopedia. Now there is a whole series of these books for Legend of Zelda. There is the Hyrule Historia, there is the Art and Artifacts book, and now the Encyclopedia. Plastic, get off of there. So here is the Encyclopedia in all of its glory. I love the blue color of this. It's gonna go real nice with the Breath of the Wild stuff. So you get the first looks of this. This is what you see when you open it. I think this map. There we have the Master Sword, and ooh, we get the shield and everything. Ooh, don't crease that book. So basically this is a encyclopedia of Historia records from all the way back to the first Legend of Zelda game all the way up to the Twilight Princess HD remake on the Wii U. I don't know if that includes the Wind Waker HD remake. I'm not really too sure which one came out first. Okay, it does include the Wind Waker HD. Whew. Thank goodness. The Legend of Zelda has captivated players with its epic lore for over 30 years now. Dark Horse Books and Nintendo proudly present an encyclopedia that includes information from the original 8-bit adventure all the way up to the Twilight Princess HD. The Legend of Zelda Encyclopedia is filled to the brim with knowledge waiting to be explored. Delve into the eras of Hyrule in the historical records. Explore a comprehensive collection of enemies, items, dungeons, and towns in the database. Read the story and developer notes of each game in the archives. If that weren't enough, the book concludes with an interview with the series producer Eiji Aonuma. So this is a very beautiful book to have. It has all the traditions and history in it. It has the goddesses and the creation myth. Basically all of the history of Legend of Zelda in this one encyclopedia. This is a really nice book to finish off in the collection because I believe that there's just going to be 3 of them. There's the original one, Hyrule Historia, the Art and Artifacts, and now the Encyclopedia. And I gotta say, I just love the artwork that they show all this artwork throughout the history of all the games. So you really get a sense of where this series has originated from, and it just shows you everything, how it progressed from one game to the next. It's really important, to know your history of video games. It's a 320-page book with an exhaustive guide to the Legend of Zelda. There's a comprehensive collection of enemies and items, potions to foes, an expansion of the lore touch upon Hyrule Historia, concept art, maps, main characters and how they relate, languages, and tons of extras, including an exclusive interview with the series producer. So there's all the historical records, there's the database, and all the archives throughout all the Legend of Zelda games in this book. This is a really interesting thing to see, the database. It shows you all the towns and villages throughout each one of the games. It has all the items throughout every single game and adventure in this series. All the items, all the keys, all the potions, each one of the weapons. And it's just really cool to have this sort of database all in one book. You have all these different dungeons, all the enemies and character sprites. That's really cool to see how all the enemies progress from the very first Legend of Zelda all the way through the years to the newest game in the series. It's just nice to have each one of the character sprites and you can see them progress over time. And you just have to really love the artwork from the very first Legend of Zelda game. It just really shows you how Link has changed throughout the years. Okay, this is really cool. You have like a character relationship status here where it just shows you how each one of the characters from the game just relates to one another, where they're from in each town or village, or if they're related in any way. So it just kind of adds a lot more lore to the actual game series. It goes really in depth throughout each world. You wouldn't think, because the first few games, most of them, they don't have that much of a story or lore to them. It's just kind of, here's your sword and off you go on your adventure. So it's just really nice to see that how they combine everything together and how everything relates to one another. And it even gives you more plot details to the games. You got the 1993 Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. You have a whole plot page for this game. And here are some of the characters here. You have the main characters. This is really nice, and it shows you each one of the characters' sprites, and again, the relationships of how they relate throughout the game. Here we have the Minish Cap. It's really nice to see the artwork just for each one of these games. It's really beautiful. Here's the Twilight Princess. You got Midna here, Zelda, Link. The progression over time throughout the games is something else. Here's some concept art for Phantom Hourglass. That's really nice to see, just to see where the game artist has started from and where it ended up in the game. Here's Spirit Tracks. You have Skyward Sword, you know, everyone's favorite Zelda game. Wink, wink. So each one of these books tells a history and story and all the database and collections throughout the entire Legend of Zelda series. You have Hyrule Historia. Basically, this just gives you the history of all the games in this series. It's really neat to see, and it does have, you know, all this, again, the sprites and everything, some character designs, which is really cool to see. Even at the end of this, I believe there is a manga at the end here. This is really neat. A Legend of Zelda manga series. I think this is for Skyward Sword. So that's something else to see, which is really cool to have in this book. And it even gives you the timeline in this actual book. So the official timeline is here. I know it was originally like a fan timeline, but then eventually, you know, Nintendo made it canon. Then you have the Art and Artifacts book. Now this is basically just all the art and artifacts, the concept art and design throughout all the games. This is a feat to see in itself, and it's a giant book here. It's got really beautiful artwork. You know, I like just having these in like a collection here, just so I can go back and look through this series. See where it all began and started and where it ended up as. You can just see the progression from the very first game throughout the middle years all the way up into, you know, Breath of the Wild, the newer years. So it's just nice to see where Link started from, where he originated and how he ended up. You know, each one of the games have different character sprites for them all, so it's a nice thing to have in the collection. You know, just to have an accumulation of all this history here in these books together. And it's really cool that they have an official series here to have. Here's some items for all the weapons in these games. This is nice, and it even has all the way back, look at it, Legend of Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link. This is one of those black sheep games in this series. It's a really fun game, but it just had a side-scrolling mechanic to the game, and you know, not many people enjoyed that. But hey, you know, it's one of those, it has great music, you know, it's a classic game, and I really enjoy the music. It's a difficult game though. You know, progressing all the way up to Breath of the Wild here, this artwork is just phenomenal. I gotta say, it is so beautiful. It really shows you how far Nintendo has came for this artwork in Breath of the Wild, all the way dating back from the original to the new game in this series. I'm really excited for the next Zelda game in this series. Excited to see what kind of art direction they take. Do they go the Breath of the Wild way, or do they go on a new art style similar to what Wind Waker did? So again, you have the Hyrule Historia, which is just a history of everything. You have the Art and Artifacts, which is all the artwork throughout the years, and then the official encyclopedia here, which basically just has all the records of everything in a database. I know that sounds weird for a video game to have in a database, but it's an important thing to have because it's such a large and massive game series that it is nice to have an actual official collection all in one place. You know, and it's something that you can cherish and just, well, I will personally cherish. I'll enjoy it. It'll be up on my display back here, that's for sure. And again, it's nice that it's like an official series. These 3 books here, so I'm really excited to have all 3 of them. It kind of completes the collection. Though apparently there is a new book coming for Breath of the Wild. I believe it's something about introducing the champions in the game, how they were originally designed all the way up to the official release in Breath of the Wild game. So that is something I will be pre-ordering. I believe that comes out in November. So stay tuned to a future video of that. So that's just going to be a quick episode for today. I just wanted to come on and just show this. I was waiting for a long time for this. I did pre-order this a long while ago, and I just kind of forgot about it. You know, I knew I wanted it. I knew I had to have it in this collection. And then all of a sudden, it just arrived today, and well, shoot, I have to record for this. I just gotta show it off real quick. You know, it doesn't have too much artwork like the Art and Artifacts does, but again, it does give you, you know, miniature sprites of everything, and it's like an official database of all the individual items and characters and villages throughout the game series. So here it is in all its glory, here in one place. You get 3 books to the main series. So thank you for joining us today for the episode of Wormys Playhouse, and please like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you again for the episode. We'll see you then. Bye!